Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Chat Flow. I'm Melissa, and I'm very happy you decided to spend some time with us today.
And I'm Mark. Whether you're listening at home, on the train, during a walk, or while taking a short break from work, thank you for being here with us.
Today, we're talking about something that almost everyone experiences at some point in life.
Yes, today our topic is overthinking, and more importantly, how to stop overthinking in everyday situations.
We'll use natural English that is clear for B1 to B2 learners, with realistic conversations and useful vocabulary that you can understand and use.
You don't have to understand every single word. Try to follow the ideas, enjoy the conversation, and let your English improve naturally.
Before we begin, here's a simple question for you to think about while you listen.
What is one situation that you think about again and again, even after it has already finished?
Maybe it was a conversation at work.
Maybe it was a text message you sent.
Maybe you keep wondering if you said the wrong thing.
Or perhaps you worry about something that has not even happened yet.
If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone.
Almost everyone overthinks sometimes. The difference is that some people stay stuck in those thoughts longer than others.
Today, we'll explore why that happens and what we can do about it.
We're not going to give you magical solutions because real life is usually more complicated than that.
But we will share simple ideas that can make a real difference when you practice them regularly.
Melissa, before we explain anything, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Do you think you are an overthinker?
Oh, that's an easy question. Yes, sometimes I definitely am.
Really? You always seem calm.
I look calm on the outside, but my brain can become very busy.
What kind of things do you overthink?
Usually conversations. I replay them in my mind and wonder if I sounded strange or if I should have answered differently.
I know exactly what you mean.
Sometimes I remember something I said 2 days ago, and suddenly I feel embarrassed all over again.
2 days? Sometimes I remember something from 5 years ago.
5 years?
Yes, my brain has an excellent memory for awkward moments.
That sounds very familiar.
I can suddenly remember saying something silly in a meeting, and then I start thinking, did everyone notice? Do they still remember?
And the funny thing is that they probably don't.
Exactly. They're probably busy thinking about their own embarrassing moments.
That's actually a very important idea.
Yes, we often imagine that everyone is paying close attention to us.
But in reality, most people are focused on themselves.
They have their own worries, responsibilities, and problems.
So today, let's begin by understanding what overthinking really is.
Overthinking is when your mind keeps returning to the same thought without helping you solve the problem.
It feels like your brain is working very hard.
But even though you are thinking a lot, you are not making real progress.
It's almost like walking on a treadmill.
You're moving your legs, using energy, and becoming tired.
But you're not actually going anywhere.
That's a great comparison.
Healthy thinking helps you make decisions.
Overthinking often makes decisions more difficult.
Healthy thinking gives you clarity.
Overthinking usually creates more confusion.
Healthy thinking ends after you reach a conclusion.
Overthinking keeps asking the same questions again and again.
What if I made a mistake?
What if people judge me?
What if something goes wrong tomorrow?
What if I choose the wrong option?
The questions never seem to end.
And because they never end, your mind never gets a chance to rest.
Mark, do you think technology has made overthinking worse?
In many ways, yes.
Why do you think that?
Because we now have so much information.
That's true.
Years ago, if you made a decision, you usually accepted it and continued with your day.
But now?
Now you can compare your decision with thousands of other people online.
You can watch videos.
Read comments.
Search for opinions.
Read reviews.
Read even more reviews.
Exactly.
Sometimes having too many choices can actually make life harder.
Instead of feeling more confident, we become less certain.
We keep asking ourselves if there was a better choice somewhere.
This is called analysis paralysis.
That's a useful expression.
It describes the situation where you think so much that you stop taking action.
Instead of making one decision, you keep collecting more information.
But the extra information doesn't always help.
Sometimes it simply creates more questions.
Melissa, can overthinking ever be useful?
I think careful thinking is useful.
What's the difference?
Careful thinking has a purpose.
It helps you understand a situation.
Yes, you think, you learn, you decide, and then you move on.
Overthinking doesn't stop there.
No, it keeps repeating the same ideas without reaching peace.
So the goal isn't to stop thinking.
Exactly.
The goal is to think in a healthier way.
We all need to think before making important decisions.
But we also need to recognize the moment when thinking stops being helpful.
That moment is different for everyone.
Some people notice it because they feel anxious.
Others notice because they can't sleep.
Some people become tired even though they have done nothing physical.
Because mental energy is still energy.
Your brain can become exhausted after hours of worrying.
And when you're mentally tired, even simple decisions can feel difficult.
Choosing what to eat suddenly feels like solving a complicated math problem.
I've definitely experienced that.
Me too.
The good news is that overthinking is not your personality.
It's a habit that your brain has learned over time.
And habits can be changed.
Not overnight.
But little by little.
Just like learning English, improving the way you think takes practice.
Small changes repeated consistently often create the biggest results.
And that simple idea is something worth remembering.
We've talked about what overthinking is, but now let's make the conversation more personal with some everyday examples.
I think that's the best way to learn, because many listeners will probably recognize themselves in these situations.
I agree. Let me ask you something, Mark. What is the most common thing you overthink these days?
Probably work. If I finish an important project, I sometimes spend the rest of the evening wondering if I forgot something.
Even after you check everything?
Yes, I check it once, then twice, and sometimes a third time.
Does checking again make you feel better?
Only for a few minutes. Then my brain finds another question.
That's interesting because many people believe overthinking gives them more control.
But in reality, it often creates the opposite feeling.
Exactly. The more we try to control every possible outcome, the more uncertain we become.
It's like trying to catch water with your hands.
The harder you squeeze, the more water slips away.
That's a great image.
Another situation where people overthink is after social conversations.
Oh yes, someone says goodbye in a slightly different way, and suddenly your brain starts creating stories.
Maybe they're upset with me.
Maybe I said something wrong.
Maybe they don't like me anymore.
Maybe the other person is probably thinking about what to cook for dinner.
Our imagination can be very creative.
Especially when we don't have enough information.
That's an important point. Our brains naturally dislike uncertainty.
We want clear answers.
But life doesn't always give us clear answers. Sometimes we simply don't know why someone behaved a certain way.
And instead of accepting that uncertainty, we try to fill the empty space with guesses.
Unfortunately, those guesses are often negative.
Why do you think that happens?
I think our brains are designed to notice possible problems. Long ago, that ability probably helped humans survive.
Yes, if your ancestors ignored danger, they had a much harder time staying safe.
So our brains still look for problems, even when there isn't a real danger.
Instead of looking for wild animals, we worry about emails and conversations.
That's a modern version of survival.
Exactly.
Let's imagine a simple example.
Good idea.
You send an important message to a friend.
Hours pass without a reply.
An overthinking mind may immediately ask, did I offend them?
Are they angry with me?
Should I send another message?
But there are many other possibilities.
Maybe they're driving.
Maybe they're busy at work.
Maybe their phone battery died.
Or maybe they simply haven't seen your message yet.
The problem is that our first explanation is often the most negative one.
Learning to pause before believing those thoughts is a valuable skill.
Notice that I said pause.
Not stop,
Exactly. You cannot always stop a thought from appearing.
but you can decide whether you want to continue following it.
That reminds me of another useful comparison.
Let's hear it.
Imagine your thoughts are like trains arriving at a station.
Interesting.
Every train invites you to get on.
But you don't have to enter every train.
Some thoughts deserve your attention.
Others should simply pass by.
The difficult part is recognizing the difference.
Practice makes that easier over time.
Mark, have you ever lost sleep because of overthinking?
More than once.
What usually happens?
I lie down, close my eyes, and suddenly my brain decides it's the perfect time to remember every unfinished task.
That sounds familiar.
Instead of sleeping, I start planning tomorrow, replaying yesterday, and worrying about next week.
It's amazing how active the mind can become when everything else is quiet.
That's true.
During the day, we're busy with work, family, or other responsibilities.
But at night, there are fewer distractions.
So our thoughts become louder.
One thing that has helped me is writing things down.
Instead of keeping everything inside your head?
Exactly.
Tell us more.
If I have 10 worries, I write them on paper.
Does that solve the problems?
Not immediately,
Then why does it help?
because my brain no longer has to carry everything at once.
That's a wonderful point.
Once the thoughts are on paper, they feel more organized.
They become something you can look at instead of something spinning around inside your mind.
Sometimes I even realize that half of my worries aren't very important.
Seeing them written down changes your perspective.
Exactly.
Another useful question is very simple.
Which question?
Ask yourself, can I do something about this right now?
That's powerful.
If the answer is yes, take one small action.
And if the answer is no,
Then continuing to worry probably won't improve the situation.
that's much easier to say than to do.
Of course.
But reminding yourself of that question again and again can slowly change your habits.
Overthinking often wants immediate certainty.
Life rarely offers immediate certainty.
So perhaps the real skill isn't finding every answer.
Perhaps it's becoming more comfortable with not knowing everything.
I like that idea.
Me too.
Another mistake people make is believing every thought they have.
That's true.
Just because you think something doesn't automatically make it true.
Thoughts are not always facts.
Sometimes they're simply possibilities.
Sometimes they're guesses,
Sometimes they're fears.
and sometimes they're completely wrong.
Learning to question your thoughts doesn't mean ignoring reality.
It means giving yourself permission to examine them before accepting them.
That's a habit that becomes stronger with practice.
And little by little, your mind begins to spend less time trapped in endless circles and more time focused on what truly deserves your attention.
We've shared a lot of ideas today, and I hope one thing is becoming clear.
Overthinking is not something you have to fight every minute of every day.
Instead, it's something you can learn to understand.
And when you understand it, you begin to have more control over how you respond.
Before we finish, let's talk about a few simple habits that can help in everyday life.
These habits are not difficult, but they become powerful when you practice them consistently.
The first habit is creating a stopping point for your thinking.
That sounds interesting. What do you mean by a stopping point?
Sometimes we think without any limits. We tell ourselves, just one more minute, and suddenly 30 minutes have passed.
I've definitely done that.
Instead, you can give yourself a short amount of time to think about a problem.
For example, 15 minutes.
Yes, during those 15 minutes, you can think, write notes, or look for solutions.
And when the time is finished,
You decide on your next action and continue with your day.
that teaches your brain that thinking has a purpose instead of becoming endless.
Exactly.
What's another helpful habit?
Paying attention to your body.
That's something people often forget,
When we're overthinking, we sometimes forget to notice simple things,
like our breathing,
or how tense our shoulders have become.
or how tired we really are.
Sometimes what we call anxiety is actually exhaustion.
That's true.
A good night's sleep, a short walk, or drinking enough water won't solve every problem.
But they often make problems feel more manageable.
Our minds and bodies work together.
Taking care of one helps the other.
Another habit is talking to someone you trust.
I think that's very valuable,
Why?
because thoughts often sound much bigger inside our heads.
But once we say them aloud,
They sometimes become much smaller.
have you ever explained a problem to someone and realized you already knew the answer?
More than once.
Me too.
It's amazing how speaking can organize our thinking.
Even if the other person doesn't give advice.
Sometimes simply being heard is enough.
Another important habit is accepting that mistakes are part of life.
That's easier said than done.
Of course.
Many overthinkers believe every decision has to be perfect.
But perfection isn't realistic.
Every successful person has made mistakes.
The difference is that they learned from them instead of replaying them forever.
That's a lesson worth remembering.
Mark, if you could give our listeners just one sentence about overthinking, what would it be?
I would say this: don't believe every thought that asks for your attention.
I like that. What about you? I would say progress usually comes from action, not from endless thinking.
Those two ideas work very well together.
Before we finish, let's review some useful vocabulary from today's conversation.
The first word is uncertainty.
Uncertainty means not knowing what will happen or not having a clear answer.
For example, life always includes some uncertainty.
Another useful word is perspective.
Perspective means the way you see or understand a situation.
Sometimes talking with another person gives you a new perspective.
We also use the word manage.
To manage something means to deal with it in a successful or healthy way.
For example, I'm learning to manage my stress better.
Another important word is assumption.
An assumption is something you believe without having enough evidence.
Many overthinking habits begin with negative assumptions.
We also talked about clarity.
Clarity means being able to think clearly and understand something well.
Taking a short break sometimes gives you more clarity than thinking for another hour.
Another useful expression is take action.
It simply means to do something instead of only thinking about it.
Finally, we used the word habit.
A habit is something you do regularly until it becomes part of your daily life.
If you want to improve your English, here's a small challenge.
Choose 3 new words from today's episode and make your own sentences.
You can say them aloud or write them in a notebook.
This simple exercise helps you remember vocabulary much better.
We also have one final question for you.
Think quietly for a moment.
What is one thought that you've been carrying for too long?
And what is one small action you could take instead of thinking about it again today?
Your action doesn't have to be big.
It could be making one phone call,
Sending one email,
going for a 10-minute walk,
writing your thoughts on paper.
or simply deciding that you've already thought enough about something.
Small actions often create the peace that endless thinking never can.
If you enjoyed today's conversation, we'd love to hear from you.
You can write in the comments, I'm your name from your country, and one thing I overthink is, or you can tell us one habit that helps you feel calmer when your mind becomes too busy.
Reading your comments reminds us that we're all learning together.
And it's always encouraging to see people supporting one another from different parts of the world.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today.
We hope this conversation helped you practice your English and perhaps also gave you a little more peace of mind.
Remember, you don't have to control every thought that enters your mind.
You only need to choose which thoughts deserve your time and energy.
Be patient with yourself, keep learning, and keep moving forward one small step at a time.
Take care, keep practicing your English, and we'll see you in the next episode of English Chat Flow.